mission of Toastmasters. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. I'm happy and honored to have members from 26 different districts attending our webinar tonight. And to welcome them all, please help me welcome District 20 Director DTM Khurram Salman with a welcoming message. DTM Khurram.
Thank you, IPDD, DTM Mahmoud. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen from all over the world. Welcome to the first webinar, kicking off webinar, may I call it, from District 20. We are very happy. It's a one-of-a-kind webinar where we talk about designing and branding. I thank you to our PR, Nasima Khan, for organizing it. And just to let you know, this is the first of the many webinars that we are planning to have, and we would be more than glad to have all of you again with us in the future upcoming webinars. Let's have a good evening, a good time, let's learn. And then again, if there are any questions that we can help you with as District 20 as a team, kindly do let us know. Let's enjoy the session. Back to you, IPTD.
Thank you very much, our eminent District Director, DTM Khurram Salman. Now, a few information about webinar. We decided to keep questions and answers at the end in a separate session. In that, you can choose either to write it in the question segment in the GoToWebinar panel in front of you, or to raise your hand. Yes, you can raise your hand by just pressing on the button which show hand in the same panel. All your mics are muted. We will unmute your mic if you have a question at the question and answer session for the benefits of all. Now, let's enjoy our design and branding webinar. We have two amazing presenters. The first presenter of tonight, Toastmasters Nasima Khan. She's the current District 20 Public Relations Manager, the branding cop, known for her networking and marketing skills, along with her background as a past division director in District 20. Please, with a big round of applause, help me welcome Toastmasters and District Public Relations Manager Nasima Khan.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, of course we can hear you.
Hello everyone, this is your Public Relations Manager Nasima Khan from District 20 Kuwait. A warm welcome to all the attendees attending this webinar with me. Today we are going to talk about something very important, but most of the time we overlooked. That is nothing but Toastmasters branding guidelines. In next few minutes, I'm going to talk about the guidelines, the branding guidelines, which is very important that we need to implement in our designing, whether it's a flyer, club agenda, promotional material, brochures, everything. This branding guidelines is necessary to follow. So let's quickly dive into the presentation. At the onset, let me walk you through the very first slide, that is branded colors. The colors that popped up on our screen are the Toastmaster actual branding colors. We have 5 distinctive colors, including black and white. The code which you can see, let me just highlight. This code on each color, if you use this code in any software, the software will give you exact color. And you can also refer such colors in branding manual page number 28, or you can also refer in visual brand guidelines manual page number 2. As much as we talk about an emphasis on the significance of colors, it is also imperative to talk about typography. Now you will ask me, what is typography? from Google, free of cost. Third, Myrate Pro. And the last, and the one which we use quite often, that is Arial. Now that we have covered color and typography, let's focus on TMI logo. Let me just tell you that this is the place where we see the violations of rules a lot. And I hope after this presentation we won't see this happening, at least in District 20. So let's see what all kinds of logo we have. The most beautiful and frequently used logo is full color version Toastmaster International logo. And these logo which I'm going to show further, these are available easily from Toastmaster's site, which you can download at any time. We have alternate versions such as grayscale, black and white, Facebook ready logo. Apart from this, we also have one icon logo which is not available on the screen right now, but you can of course download from TMI site. We also have some color version which can easily go with different styles, different color design. And about the logo, you can know more from the brand manual, page number 31, visual brand guidelines, page number 5. With that, we are moving on to placement of the logo. The placement of the logo will be detailed explained by Toastmaster Nada, but let me tell you here, the logo of Toastmaster International should always stand alone. There should be free space around it and it should be clear. The background of the logo, what color we should use, will be explained further in the next presentation. Also, the area where Toastmaster branding guidelines are affected are when we have different styles of theme. For example, if we have food or sports, we tend to use the logo, for example, McDonald's or Nike, something like that. So no registered logos are allowed to use with the Toastmasters logo except the sponsor. If you have a sponsor for a meeting or for an event, you can use on the same page but at the bottom of the agenda or the flyer. Moving on to image guidelines. There are some commercial images which are easily available on Toastmasters site, like club meetings, presentations of speakers, conference, training. All these images you can download for your demo meeting or for your invitation flyers from the site. But there are images which you can't use. For example, animals, landscape, children, medicine, cartoons, animation. These are images which you can't use. Also from District 20 members, we got one question quite often, that whether we can use regular members' picture in our marketing flyers. And we checked from Toastmasters International and we got a positive reply that yes, we can use regular members' picture only if we have written approval from them. But it's my personal request that whenever we use regular members' picture, try to use in a really professional way. Just a request. Now with that, we are moving on to the district and club stationery. This is another area where members get perplexed about the color. What color stationery we should use at which level? Very simple. Just remember, at club level, you have to use blue color. Whether it's agenda, letterhead, or business card, blue color is for club. Above club, it's burgundy for area, division, district, and on. So these are the colors of stationery that we can use, club as well as area and on. Now District 20 has come up with the pocket guidelines. This pocket guideline is made by us this year. It will include everything that we have discussed so far. For example, logo, color, the style of logo you can use, the color of agenda, stationery, everything is covered in a pocket guideline. this has made keeping our designer in mind so that they can use it easily while making their posters. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation, and I hope it was useful for everyone. I'm sure there will be some questions. As the moderator explained, we will take it to a second. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you, Toastmasters Nasima. Very nice presentation. And I would like to inform all the attendees that the branding awareness, Toastmasters Nasima mentioned, the pocket branding awareness is sent to all of you as a handout. You can download it and keep it for your benefits. Now, our second presenter is a junior editorial designer by profession at CANVA Designs and Media. She is a member in Young Adults Toastmasters Club in Bahrain, and she is an experienced speaker and design enthusiast whose forte is in public speaking, graphic design, digital art, and calligraphy. Please, with a big round of applause, help me welcome Toastmasters Nada Camber. Toastmasters Nada.
Hi everyone. Can everybody hear me? There we go.
Yes, we can hear you, of course.
Hi. Thank you very
The
much.
most challenging part of our webinar today. Myself, I'm waiting for it.
Well, I hope it's going to be worth it for you all. All right. So, hi everyone. Again, welcome to the design part of this program. Thank you, DTM Makhlouf, for the introduction, the wonderful introduction, and to Toastmaster Nasima for delivering such a very great, short and sweet presentation on Toastmasters branding. And thank you all for your applauses at home. Thank you all for that. I could hear it all the way from here. Before I begin, I would like to just put out a quick disclaimer. This webinar is not sponsored in any way by canva.com. We're just doing this to help you all make great designs, and Canva is just our preferred platform for that. Now, most people think that following branding guidelines can be a little bit of a drag because it goes against what we want to do and deprives us, or you think it may deprive you of your creativity. But what we never really come to consider is that by following the guide and rules of a brand actually enhances your creativity. It plays with your mind on how you can actually create something with these restrictions. So rather than just fighting or going against these guidelines, let's work with it and make something really spectacular. So our main goal for today is to teach you all the very basics of canva.com and to use Toastmasters branding guidelines to help you and to use that to your advantage. Now, these points can also apply to anything that you can create, from your sister's wedding to your dog's anniversary dinner. I don't know why you would have an anniversary dinner for your dog, but from that to your company's poster and so on. So I hope you all are ready, so let's just get on right onto it. Before we get into Canva, our first step is to get a hold of our basic tools we'll need to create a poster, newsletter, or invitation using those branding guidelines. Now, these are just the very basic tools we must keep in mind when creating anything either Toastmaster related or otherwise. So our tools that we'll be using are the branding colors of a brand basically, the logos and different variations of it, fonts, the branding fonts in particular, and photos, only if needed. Now I won't be asking you to hunt down for all of these tools right now because we'll be sending you a link of a Dropbox link with tools all on there just for you. So DTM Makhlouf will be sending that directly to you on the chat right now, and you can head over to that, and it should look something like this over here. So if you click on that link, it will lead you to Dropbox, and you can just click download over here, and direct download. So on this folder, you will find the logo, the three main logos we'll be using for today, and images that we could use when we make these posters, and of course the visual brand guidelines for us to find the color palette, the colors that we'll need. What we'll need here, as Toastmaster Nasima has mentioned a few minutes ago, that we'll just be needing this hex code right there. This one right there. Alright, so it should be in page number 2 on the visual brand guidelines. So if you click download that, so while that's downloading, these are your basic tools of the night. So if you're going to download this, you can go ahead and download it directly for you. But if you're going to be using it, if you don't want to download it and you want to find it by yourself another time, you can do so on the Toastmaster website. I'll teach you how to do that right now. So we're going to send a link to the Toastmaster website on the chat as well. DTM Makhluf will send that on the chat, so in case you all want to click on it and do it with me. So once you're at the website, Toastmaster website, just head on to resources, logos, images, and templates, and over there you will find all the Toastmaster approved branding, templates, and resources for the Toastmaster brand. So first of all, to find the visual basic guidelines, visual brand guidelines, just head over to the brand manual over here, and you will find 3 presentations of the brand. So all you just need to do is click download manual, and then you'll find it right here. It's page 2, and there are your colors. Then to find out the logos, the different variations of logos, just click logo design and elements over here, and it will just lead you directly to the so many types of logo options that Toastmasters has to offer, from blue to burgundy, and even the rays that you see on your agendas, you can find them here as well. Now to find the images, just hit down to professional images right here, right below logo design and elements, so just click on that. And here are the Toastmasters approved standard images you can find. Initially, you can take your own photos of your members, as Toastmaster Nasima had mentioned a few minutes ago, that you can take photos of your members or of yourself and have that in your posters, but make sure to get the written approval and ensure that it will be in a meeting or business theme. Alright, so that is how you get your basic tools for Toastmasters. Now, let's move on to the fun bit, which is canva.com. Alright, what is Canva? I like to call it as the simplified version of Photoshop. It's a photo editing website that allows you to create graphics, documents, and all kinds of templates with the help of templates and user-friendly tools that you can just use just for you. It is what we recommend, what us designers recommend to anyone who wants to make a really quick design or poster or document and they don't really want to bother us about it. So we send them Canva's way, because you can do it all yourself, because it's super simple to use and it's super user-friendly. Before we continue with diving into Canva, I would like to give a huge shout out to the person who had introduced me to Canva in the first place, Toastmaster Nagendra Sitaram. Thank you very much for introducing me to this. Without your introduction, we would not be here today. So thank you for that very much. Okay, so let's head over to canva.com. When you're here, we're going to send a link as well on the chat in case you want to work with me on this. Otherwise, if you don't want to work with me, you can just watch me throughout this entire webinar, because we'll be sending you a replay of this webinar within the next few days after this, and you can just do it from there, pause it, and do it at your own pace. So for now, if you would like to just watch me, that's completely fine. But if you'd like to work with me as well, you can do that at the same time. So we're sending a link of canva.com just in case you want to work with me. Either way, let's get right to it. So we are on canva.com right now, and if you're not logged in, you can log in via this drop-down menu over here that says log in with Facebook or Gmail, if you log in with either one of them. If you don't have any of these two accounts, you can just simply go over here and click personal, home, family, or friends, and sign up with your email from there. All right. So if when you log in, it should look something like this. Well, a little bit different. This won't be there. These little images won't be there. These are just my old images I used previously. All right. We're on canva.com, and let's dive right into making a poster. So we're gonna make a meeting themed poster. Let's theme it Face Your Fears. It is just a very standard theme that I'm sure most of your Toastmaster clubs, most of your clubs have already had this theme one time during your club's life. So let's just start off in making this poster. Okay, the theme is Face Your Fears. So let's go on to this button over here that says Create a Design. Create a design. It will lead you to open this panel over here. And since we're going to make a poster, we want to make it for Instagram and Facebook. So we need a social media poster that is a square. So let's go to social media poster over here. Let's click that. One more point before we get into this. I just remembered there's a new version of Canva that came out. It says Canva 2.0. Some users may automatically have this, but some will already start off with this older version, which is 1.0. If you are in version 2.0, don't worry about it. Most of the tools, most of the options are still the same. It's just the layout is a lot more different, and you have a lot more templates that Canva has to offer. So don't worry about things being different. It's just basically the same things, so don't worry about it, right? So we have this social media post right here. We have an empty canvas, beautiful empty canvas. Before we put things on the canvas, I want to talk about just a few things that we have to remember when making a poster on Canva. So over here it says File, and on File you will find the Save button. Now I cannot press this any further. Canva automatically saves files for you, so just in case something happens, they automatically save it for you. But if your internet is choppy, it's kind of bad, I suggest you hit that save button that like there's no tomorrow. So everything you put in there, hit the save button if your internet's really bad. And one way to figure out if it's saved is looking at this little status bar over here. It says all changes saved. If it's not saved, then you would maybe see it. See, it says right there, unsaved changes, because I inserted a random template. Now it says all saved. All right. So that's one thing we have to remember. And the second thing is this bar over here, social media untitled design. This is where you put in your title. So just click on that and put in your title. So let's do that. Face Your Fears meeting poster. We're going to do that. So make sure to change the title of your poster, of your artwork as much as possible, so you don't get confused if you're making like dozens of them. All right, and then now we're going to do with the download button. Now when you download on Canva, they give you 4 options on where you can, on how you can download these posters or artworks. JPEG is a lower resolution image file, of course, but Canva has it as low resolution that is okay for digital use. And PNG is highly recommended by Canva because of the higher resolution, and PNGs are usually transparent, will usually have transparent backgrounds. So if you have an image that is behind a white background, then it will be this transparent. So PNGs is recommended because it's high resolution. But then if you have a document that you want to share with your friends on WhatsApp, like for example, you have a club newsletter and you want to share on WhatsApp or share on Facebook, PDF standard is the right way to go because it's good for digital use. If you want to print that newsletter or print like an official document from Canva or like your CV, hit on PDF print because it gives you crop marks or bleeds if necessary, if your printers need that. Alright, so for this poster, we're going to do PNG since it's high resolution, and we prefer good resolution images. So we're not going to download this right now, just click on outside. Alright, so let's go and do this meeting poster. I'm going to delete what I just put in right here. Okay, So this brings us to our first step of making a poster. Step number 1 is to get all of our tools together. So set up our colors, upload our logos, and get it all in one place. So we have uploads over here on this button. Click on that uploads, and let's go to the folder that we downloaded from Dropbox. So this is the folder I downloaded. I'm going to go to logos, and I'm going to highlight all the logos I have and upload them automatically. You see that there's double because I uploaded them before, but that's okay. That's fine. While that's uploading, let's set up our colors. Okay, so let's go back to our folder and hit on Visual Brand Guidelines, double click on that, and we have our color scheme. Let's scroll down to page number 2. See over there? And let's highlight this hex code, copy that hex code. I want to put all the colors on it. So then click on the document colors over here, plus sign, click on that, and just paste the code right there. I'm going to do that for the rest of the colors. This is going to take me a few minutes, a few seconds. Now the thing is with these Toastmaster branding colors is that not all of these colors are being used. We have only started using this grayish tone, which I'll show you in a bit. Oh, it's popped up. Like this grayish tone. We've only started using this grayish tone recently because I've always tried to make use of it. But then that one color that hasn't been used is this bright red color. So after today, if you plan to make a poster by yourself, my challenge to you is to use the red color, red Toastmaster color. It's a bright color, so just use it as a little bit of an accent or a little bit of a flush here or there. This is my challenge to you. Alright, so we have our document colors are ready, our logos are uploaded, so now let's get on to step number 2, which is to start with the main element that grabs the attention of the audience. So what element will grab the attention of the audience for our theme? Our theme is Face Your Fears, so what we're going around with it is we're trying to face our fears with public speaking. So we're trying to face our fears of public speaking. So we can pick a photo of a lady or a man who's speaking in public, facing their fears. So let's get back to our tools and hit one of these professional photos that we have over here. Maybe we can use one of these photos. Let's see. I think let's use this one. I'm going to drag that in there to uploads, and while that's uploading, let's go on to step number 3, lay it out. Now we can lay it out with these 2 beautiful items that CANVA has to offer, which is grids or frames. Now these 2 are basically they're very similar. The grids are just where you can just put more than one photo into a whole plane right there. Or if you want to use a frame is just basically you can put more than one photo, or you can have like these beautiful frames in all shapes and sizes that CANVA has for you. But today we're going to use just the grid, and we're going to drag that into there. And the thing about this right here, you see this landscape image that's right here, this indicates that you can place an image right on top of it, and it would just snap into place and crop itself around it. Let me show you an example with the photo we just uploaded. So I want to click this photo that we uploaded, and it pops right onto the canvas. I hold it down, I drag it out, and you see that it just snaps right into place right there. Yeah, that is what we want. When you make a poster, make sure to have grid or frame onto it so it'll be easier for you to put in the image and you won't have any troubles. Now, I want to edit this photo a little bit. I want to make her bigger or crop her a little bit more. So what I can do is I just click on the grid that I put in there, click on the image, I double click it, and it leads me to this page over here. And from here, I can use this circle over here on the edge and drag it out so I can adjust the sizing. And I'm going to drag it a little bit to the side. over here, maybe a little bit more. You can see the outline of the canvas, so I'm making note of where she's placed. Now the thing is, when you place images on a poster, make sure to leave space for the text. So that's what I did just now. I left space for the text. I hope that's enough space. If it's not, then I can just go back and increase the size of the image a lot more. Now we have the text. We're still on step 3. We're still trying to lay it out. So now we can just need to put in the text that we need to put in. Alright, so we click on the text panel over here, and it will lead you to this section where you can choose templates of ready-made templates for you to use. All you just need to do is change the font text and the font styles, or you can make your own with heading, subheading, or body text. So let's use the templates for now, and we'll make use of we'll create one of our own later on. So let's use the Bare Organics version, because this is one of my favorites so far for now. So I just clicked on it and it popped right into the canvas. I want to drag it where the text is going to be. Use the circle on the edges as well to just drag that out. And I want to make it bigger so it can be seen. Now our meeting theme is not Bare Organics. No, it's not. So what we just need to do is just double click on that, highlight, and change it to face your fears. I want to drag that down a little bit more, and I want to increase the size of this a little bit more. So what I can do, I highlight this whole thing, and I just click on the number over here that says font size. Let's do 42, 72, yeah. And maybe change this as well to a different text. I want to put my club name on here. So Young Adult Toastmasters, shout out to the yachts watching. I'm going to put the date, September 19th, 2018, 7:30 p.m. Now, what is wrong with this poster? What you may think that, okay, we're done, now we can just save it and be good to go. No, we're not done yet. One thing is that goes against the brand guidelines is this font that's over here. You see over here, it says it's Helvetish. It's not the Toastmaster font. The thing is with CANVA is that the one font that they have here is Montserrat, which is the main font of Toastmasters International. So we are very fortunate about that. So just highlight the text and let's look down for there we go. Montserrat. I never pronounced that properly. Alright, so I want to highlight this text and I want to change the color as well to maybe like a white color. That way I can see it more. And I feel like there is a little bit more space over here that I think I can reduce. So what can we do? If it's too far from each other, I can highlight the text as well. Click on the spacing button over here and adjust the spacing of the letters. I can adjust it like this. But I don't want to do it like that too much. And I can adjust the height. So I want to put it closer together. There we go. That looks much better. Now this, for one, we need to change the font. For two, we need to change the color because we can't see what this says. Toasters 30 p.m. That's all we can see. So let's change that. Let's switch it up. Change the color first. Then change the font. It's already there, so that's perfect. And I see it's too big for me. It's too big. So let's change the size so that it's nice and balanced. There we go. There we go. I want to put this higher because we have one more element to put in to this poster. If you're having trouble selecting it, don't worry about it. Keep on clicking. Alright. I think this needs to go down. Yes, it does. When you have an image on a poster, try to frame the text around the image. You see how this is overlapping the woman's shoulder. So what we want to do is make sure that side is clear so we don't get, so it doesn't get overrun by it, if you know what I mean. When I move this down, you can highlight the text and you can use your arrow tool, your arrow buttons on your keyboard to move it up or down or sideways. I do that. I want to also put this down, and I think I should put in at 7:30 p.m. There we go. Now we're almost done. Let's make this caps. Making things caps cleaner and more professional. So try as much as possible to put caps as not everywhere, but if you have as much as possible, yeah, basically. I want to extend this out a little bit. And we're almost done, but one thing we're missing is the Toastmaster logo. So let's go back to uploads, hit on this button, the Toastmaster logo. Let's use this one. Let's reduce the size. And nope, you think we're almost done? No, we're not. We're not done just yet. One violation over here is this right here. No, we cannot place the logo, especially the Toastmaster logo, right on top of a random image or a random color that is not the branding colors. So what can we do to fix that error? Head on to Elements, head on to Shapes, and we're gonna put a box. Yes, you got it. We're gonna put a box. I clicked on a random simple box. It comes out of black right now, so I'm just gonna change the color to maybe a yellow, Toastmaster yellow color. I'm going to adjust this and put it right there where the Toastmaster logo is. This way. Now I can't see the logo anymore, so what can I do? I click on the box and I hit on the arrange button right here. I click on it and I click back. That way it brings the box behind the logo, behind the logo. That's what we want. Remember what I said about framing the text and such around the image? Now this is overlapping and it makes it look kind of off balance when your elements overlap the image. So what we can do to fix it is I'm going to double click it. I want to move it a little bit to the side. That way we have more space for the logo. There we go. Now it looks a lot better like this. I'm going to select this whole thing, move it a little bit out, and we're almost done. I've been saying that for a while, I know, but I swear we're almost done. So we're still in step 3. We're just about done with step 3. Let's move on to step 4, which is touch-ups. Once you're done laying everything out, you think you're almost done, you think you're just about finished and ready to save this and download it and share it with your members, look at your poster and see if anything looks unbalanced. Unbalanced meaning, is this font bigger than the other font? Is it okay that it's bigger? Is this what I want the text? Is this what I want the poster to say? For example, Face Your Fears, the Toastmasters, September 19th, this is what I wanted to say. I'm looking at the logo, I feel like the logo is bigger, a little bit bigger, so the Toastmaster logo is supposed to act as a accent to the image as well as like to brand the image. Yes, this is a Toastmaster poster. So it can be huge, but try to add it as an accent rather than a huge thing on the poster. So keep it small, keep it simple, not too small though. So this is just. Now I'm looking at it and I feel like we can add one more element, one more accent to the poster. So I think we should add a line to divide Face Your Fears between the other Toastmasters Club. So let's go to lines on the elements and click on this basic line. Let's change the color to yellow so it matches this background over here. And ladies and gentlemen, we are just about done with this first poster. That is making a poster with an image. I hope you all learned a little bit something from that. Now let's make a meeting poster without an image. Perhaps your meeting doesn't require, you can't think of an image, a proper image to use for your theme. So let's make it with just typography. Alright, so to make a new page, for example, you want to make two options for this theme, and you want to show it to your members. So what you can do, you can make it on this same canvas. You don't need to go back to CANVA or make a new canvas. You can save it on this particular page by just clicking either add new page, you can add that, or if you want to copy the same thing, hit on the copy button over here, copy. But we don't need to do that, so I'm just going to click delete, and there we have our main basic plain canvas that we can use to create our second poster that is just typography. Now, what are our steps again? Our steps number 1 is to get our tools together, which we've already done, which brings us to step number 2, start with the main element that grabs the attention of the audience. So this time, our main element would be a text. So typography should show right up in their faces, and the first time they would look at the poster, they will say, yes, this is a poster about facing your fears. Let's do just that. So let's start with the text. Step number 2, remember. So I said before that we'll make it from scratch. So let's go to this heading poster, and I want to put here, face your fears. I'm going to click that. The reason why I removed your, I'll tell you in a few. So I'm just going to change the font of these 2 words, face fears. I want to highlight them, make it bold. I'm going to arrange it right here and then. So I'm going to make it larger, put it up in center. The beautiful thing about CANVA is that when you have an image or you have an element and you want to center it, they have these purple lines right here. You can see it, that are popped here. These purple lines help you center things because it just snaps right into it for you. So use that as a helping tool. Don't get annoyed at it. Don't break your screen because it comes up. It's there to help you. So I have face fears. I'm missing your. I want to put a subheading that says your. And the reason I am doing this, I'm separating the 2 files, these 2 letters, these 2 elements, 2 text boxes, is because on Canva you cannot edit, you cannot change the font sizes of each word per text box. So I cannot change face on this whole text box, because if I do, I reduce the size, it reduces the size of the entire text box, which is what we don't want. That's why I separated them. So I want to increase the size a little bit more and put it right in the middle. Let's snap it right in the middle. There we go. Still not centered. There. Alright. Now there's too much space. When you think of text, I want you to think of how texts are also like beings. They need people around them, they need other text around them, and they also need to breathe. So, or they need other text around them, and they need to breathe. So we have text around it, but it's still not close enough, so they need to be closer. They need people around them, or other text around them. So I'm going to put them a little bit closer, and a little bit, put them up, make sure it's centered between yours. Now, if you put it too close together, they won't be able to breathe. Like the letters in between this, I feel like they can't breathe, so I'm gonna give them a helping hand and space them apart a little bit. There we go. I'm sure they're very happy now. All right, there we go. We have our first main element that we've laid out. We've already mixed step 1 and step 2 on this. Now let's continue with step number 3, which is lay everything out. A little tip for everybody: if you want to make a quick text box, just hit T on your keyboard and a text box should pop right up for you. So I just hit T and it should pop up. I'm going to put Young Adult Toastmasters. You can put your club name, Toastmasters. I can't see what it says. Put it up. Young Adult Toastmasters. Let's change the font of this little thing. Cut that out, increase the spacing in between because they need to breathe. Text needs to breathe. Let's increase the size a little bit. Let's make it a little bit smaller. There we go. I'm going to put that right there. Now I want to use the same style as what I have on this. So I can just click on the text box, hit copy, and I have it copied. There we go. And I want to change that to September 19th. 2018 at 7:30 p.m. I'm going to change this to the line. There we go. Looks nice and professional, but then it looks pretty plain. But what we can do to fill it up is to add more elements to it. I'm thinking you can add shapes, you can add boxes, so let's just do that. Let's add some lines. I'm thinking some lines. Let's take this box over here, change the color to maybe our challenge is to use the red color, so we'll use the red. Let's try to use the red color. Let's make this a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner. There we go. And I want to put that right there, in between. That way we're focusing on your, like we're pointing at the audience, we're going to face your fears today. That's a great way to emphasize on that. Now I want the same exact size and width and length of this line. So I just click copy and it gives me just that. Go ahead, put that to the side. And still not done yet. We need to change the color of this text, maybe to the blue. Yeah, the blue is perfect. I want to change this color as well to maybe the maroon or to the red. Yes, I think we can change it to red. We can keep this as is, but I'm thinking maybe change it to the pale Toastmaster color. Yeah. Now that, we're almost done with the poster. Almost done. I think it still looks a little bit more plain, so let's add in a few more lines. Let's copy this, put it to the bottom, make it a little bit thinner. I want to extend that out to the side so we create a nice border on the bottom. I'm going to make that a little bit thinner, not too thin. Center that. And I like how this looks, so I'm thinking of putting it right on top, right there. That way we have a nice border that surrounds this entire typography. And I think all together, let's make the whole thing bigger. Bring this to the bottom. And yeah, now we're forgetting that one main element of every poster, the logo. Let's go back to uploads and maybe let's use this version of the logo. It's not mostly used, so I suggest you use it every now and then. It needs some attention, so let's use that. Let's bring this on the bottom because we have to abide by the Toastmasters branding guidelines, which is to not go make an invisible border or the margins around it. Let's do that. Let's bring this a little bit closer. And now, brings us to step number 4. Look at your poster. What else does it need? Does it need more touch-ups? Does it need to be spaced out a little bit more or spaced together? Or is it good to go? I'm thinking it's not centered. I feel like it's not centered to me. So I'm just going to try to center it as much as I can. There we go. And I feel like this needs to go closer to yours. So let's do that. Bring that on the bottom. Now if you can't select it, make sure to, if you're trying to select the text or if you want to bring the text box down and you won't be able to, and you can't like bring it down, hover the text until this arrow, these north, south, east, west diamond arrow comes up, and that way you can bring it down and drag it down. There we go. I'm going to put this a little bit to the side, bring this a little bit more along with it. I'm looking at it, and ladies and gentlemen, I think we are good with this poster. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is your first 2 posters that you can make, 2 samples, one with an image, one with just using typography, using canva.com and the Toastmaster branding guidelines. And that is the basics of using Canva and making a poster. I hope you all use this to your advantage. Remember to follow the guidelines and work with it rather than against it, because look at all these nice posters you made. It's nice, clean, and simple. And one more thing to remember is that when you make a poster, make sure to focus on what you want the poster to say. Instead of putting a dozen amounts of text on one side, keep it nice and simple. Simplicity is key. So make sure you have your poster says what it needs to say, instead of saying all these other random images and texts. Alright, so that is just about it. I hope you use this to your advantage as much as you can, because it helps us and keeps the poster intact and looking clean and presentable for the audience to look at. So go forth and make beautiful things, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Back to you, moderator.
Wow. Thank you. Actually, I wonder where was CANVA years back. struggling with PowerPoint, Photoshop, other type of programs. Thank
So
you.
now Canva makes things a lot easier.
Toastmasters Nada very much for this amazing presentation. Thank you also Toastmasters Nasima for your amazing guidelines regarding the branding. Now let's move forward for the session, questions and answer session. We have a few guidelines, a few hands up and few questions sent. First question sent by Toastmaster Jasdeep Singh. I wonder if he wished to say his question. Toastmaster Jasdeep, I'm unmuting your mic. If you wish to say your question, please.
Yeah, hello everyone, and a great session. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Great.
Give us your
I
question.
thoroughly enjoyed the session, and thank you for hosting such a detailed session for everyone around the world. My question is about the gradient rays of light, the translucent rays that are placed behind the round logo. So, are those rays allowed to be used everywhere, like on cards, stationery, agenda, or are they limited to use on some specific item?
Of course, Toastmasters Nasima, can you please explain that?
Hello?
Yes, Toastmasters Nasima, we can hear you.
Yes. The race which you are talking about, the one which is available along with the heading, header, that we can use, but the additional which we use as effect with the logo or any other design, that is not allowed. The one which is already available, that we can use in our slide. I hope I answer your question.
All right, I get it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Toastmasters Khalid Abdullah has a question. I'm unmuting your mic, Toastmasters Khalid. Please give us your question.
Hello, good evening everyone.
Good evening.
Am I audible?
Sure.
Thank you so much, DT Muhammad Mahlouf and Toastmaster Nasima, Toastmaster Nada for the excellent webinar. My question is very quick. I think Toastmaster Nada already touched on that, but just to repeat it, how can we save the design itself so we can come back to it later on and edit it? And then how can we save it and use it for social media?
Okay, great. Toastmasters Nada.
Hi, Abdullah.
I will make
Hi,
you
Khalid.
as a presenter also,
Sure, no problem.
so you can use the CANVA again.
Go back to my screen. Oh. Okay, so this is my screen. That's one thing I did miss out on. So to save the work, so you can go back and edit it again. So just click on File and click Save right there. As I said before, Canva automatically saves the files for you, just in case your internet goes down, and it automatically saves everything for you. It's that you can see that over here. It says all changes saved. So after that, you can just close the tab and refresh your Canva page, and from there you can see that this is where you can go back here. This is where it's saved. So you just click on that, and it should lead you back to the canvas that you edited on, and you can edit it again from there. Now to save it and download it, share it on social media, just click on the download button and click on. Now it says here you have two. Over here it says that you can either download it as a zip file. You can download all the pages together, or you can download just one page. It's up to you. So I just click on, I want to save it as PNG, so I click on PNG and hit on download, and it's downloading right for me. And from there, you can just, let me just show it to you while that's downloaded. There we go. And I can just click on where I want to download it and just click outside there. It currently downloaded a zip file for me. I can just unzip that, go out to my folder, and this is where it is. I can save it from here. I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, AD Khalid. Now we have Toastmasters Kiribahari. I will unmute your mic. Hello? Toastmasters Kiribahari, Franklin? I think there is a problem in his mic. Okay. There is another question from Toastmaster Smita. Toastmaster Smita, I will unmute your mic. Toastmaster Smita, are you there? Just press on the mic to become green. Yes. Toastmaster Smita. Toastmasters Frank. Can you give us your question? I think there is a problem in their mics. Okay. I'm recognizing our District 20 PQD, DTM Wafa Salman. Hi. Our boss, District Director, DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali. There. Many area directors attending our webinar. Toastmasters Rana Aloush, Toastmasters Mona Gab, Division A Director, our District Finance Manager, Toastmasters Venkata. Thank you all for attending our webinar. There is another question from Toastmasters Brian. I will unmute his mic. Toastmasters Brian. Hello? Toastmasters Brian, we can hear you. Please tell us your question.
Hi, good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, just a curious question. What will be the repercussions if we and Toastmasters were not able to follow the branding guidelines of TI?
Oh, great question. Toastmasters Nasima. Question is yours.
Good evening, Toastmaster Brian. That was a good question. What will happen if we won't able to follow Toastmaster branding guidelines. Toastmaster branding guidelines, if we are not following, I believe that we will not be able to promote Toastmaster within above the level. For example, if we are not following the branding guidelines at club level, then you can't take your work to the area or from area and above. I can give you an example. For Flyer of the Month award, we are seeing each and everything that falls under branding guidelines. The last month, the club which achieved Flyer of the Month award, their flyers is going all around the globe of Toastmasters world. So if you want to take your work from your level to another level, always follow Toastmaster branding guidelines to recognize your club, your members, because that's the best way to do and promote Toastmasters. I hope I answer your question.
Thank you, Toastmasters Nasima. Yes, Brian?
Now this is Khurram actually, the district director. I just wanted to ask something.
Yes.
So, in the Chicago, the convention that we attended, Daniel Rex addressed all of us as well, and he spoke about branding in one part where he talked about how branding and following the branding guidelines and the things that we have said is part of our first core value that comes under integrity. So I just wanted to make that point as well, that that's coming from the CEO. So what happens really if we don't follow the branding guidelines? That's just a matter of we're not following the branding guidelines, but then we're not following the core value if we're not following the branding guidelines as well. So it really comes down to us practicing integrity and making sure that we do follow the branding guidelines that are given to us by Toastmasters. I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you very much, our DD. Next question is from Toastmasters Smita. I hope we can hear you now. I'm unmuting your mic. Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Apologies, there might be some twist and game plan by the network that I was not able to raise my question earlier. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank District 20 for organizing such a brilliant webinar. I hope all of us will be gaining a lot of insights into PR best practices. So my question here will be related to printing materials that the club, area, division or the district will be using for branding events, sessions, and also for stationaries as well. What kind of approval do we need for printing materials, and how our logos are supposed to be used in such materials? What if one club, division or area is printing materials that are not approved by CMI?
What do you mean materials? Do you mean
For example,
printing?
Certificates, yes. For example, clubs are printing their own certificates, or area level contests, they are printing their own materials, certificates, standee, posters, leaflet, anything that is in printed form, maybe bags, caps, etc.
And there is a violation in branding in these materials.
Yes, they use it in for it. Say for example, there is one contest going on, and they want to give away the t-shirts, but they don't buy it from CMI website. They get it printed from local vendor, but they're using CMI logo and trademark protected elements.
Did they got the approval from TI on these materials? Because TI can approve the materials even for club level. If
Yes,
they
but
get it from
what is
TI.
so what is the process of getting the approval, and what are the consequences of printing such materials without CMI's approval?
Okay, Toastmasters Nasima, can you help us in that with the guidance of our district director, DTM Khurram?
To get the approval from Toastmaster International, there are 2 email IDs which we can forward to you, one for branding and one for trademark. You can email to them and get the approval for the material that you want to use in your contest. And if you are buying material from local vendor, avoid using Toastmaster logo. In that case, you don't need any approval. I believe that was the answer to your question.
What if clubs, areas, or divisions are printing material that contains TMI logo? Is there any specific action that can be taken by TMI if they notice unauthorized use of trademark protected elements?
Can I ask you a question? I don't know if you can answer or no. Are you a member in District 20?
No, I am not, but I am asking this for awareness because I have seen a lot of clubs doing that, and when we try to make them understand why not, so I am also trying to understand how should we be answering them as PR managers. Like, I'm stopping my club or some other club that will not use this, so what will be the perfect answer for them?
Our district director, can you help us in that?
Yes. So, Smita, thank you for raising that. It's a very valid question, actually, and something that we see happening all around the world. What we really have to understand is Toastmaster is not a policing organization. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is, what Toastmaster really comes down to, it comes back to the same thing that I mentioned earlier. It really comes down to our core values of integrity and, excellence in service and all of that. So, I mean, when your CCs and you submit them, Toastmaster doesn't really come and check. There are so many cases that we know of when people just rushed through them, didn't do them properly, at times didn't even do it, yet they submitted it, because Toastmasters establishes that trust among the members that you are doing what you're supposed to. Now that's where our role as a leader comes in. So when we are looking at it from a PR manager perspective or a district director perspective, and this is something that the PR manager and myself, we've been doing ever since the term, and even before that as well. We tell the club fair and square that, hey, what you guys are doing is not right. Here's the branding guideline. Here's all the documents that you need to follow. And usually the clubs listen. If they don't, and if they have any doubts, what you let them do is let them send that poster or whatever they're printing to TI and see if it is okay. If the TI replies saying that it's not okay, then they get their answer. And if in any case they're getting the TI approval or they're not. If they're getting the TI approval, well and good, they can continue using it. If they're not getting it, then they have their answer. And even if they still continue doing it, nobody's gonna handcuff them and put them in jail or anything like that. Then they are breaking their own core values as such. So it really comes down to that element. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you. That answers my question, and congratulations on hosting such a brilliant webinar.
Thank you, Samita.
Thank you, Samita. And thank you for attending our webinar. It's a privilege.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye. Now we have one question from Sue. Sue, please, I'm unmuting your mic.
Hello. Hi. Yes.
Hi.
I'm just intrigued, and I think I've answered the question myself. The CANVA is a tool that I've been using, but I haven't been fully aware of the branding guideline. Now that I am, I can create some great posters, so that's fantastic. I've learned something today, which I'm really happy about. But what I've realised is there's only a limit that you can have on the free template. It's only allowing me to upload 3 colours. So I'm presuming that you have a paid option, do you, for your designing?
We will forward this question to Toastmasters Nada.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi
Hello.
there. Well, I don't have a paid option. I think what you're looking at is the branding. So you can see let me actually go back to my.
I've missed something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. No, that's okay. I didn't talk about this in my side. All right. So if you can see my screen, I'm on the main page, and I go to your brand section over here, and here I can add the brand colors that I have. So I can add up to 3.
Okay, I'm
only.
with that.
So this is, I think this is what you're talking about. You can add only
Yes,
three options.
it is. So yeah, I think I just missed the step where you'd uploaded the pictures and the logos and.
Yeah, I think that's okay. But I think this is the one thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
But what I did is that if we go back to the canvas I did, I went to backgrounds, and there I added in the document colors automatically. So that way it just, when I click an image or something, and it just automatically comes up here, ready for me. So yeah.
And then for your photos, where did you go in? Was that just in this bit here, uploads?
Over here? No, I uploaded it from TMI. So I went to the Toastmaster website and I hit on resources, logos, images, and templates. And I scroll down over to professional images and I click on that. And it just leads me to all these Toastmaster approved images that you can download for free. And this is, I downloaded this one over here. And then I'm sure you know how to upload it. So just,
sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I just uploaded it and I just dragged it onto the canvas and then I put it there. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. We have another question from Rolly. I'm muting your mic, Rolly.
Muted. So, can you hear me? Hi.
Yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, thank you very much. I have been confused about Canva for some time, and this was really valuable. I was just wondering if there is a short way of making sure that we are not disturbing the logo, position on the poster or any of our graphics, and disturbing the guidelines or violating the guidelines.
Sure. Toastmasters Nada, can you help us in positioning of the logo in the poster?
Sure, I can. I hope I can answer your question properly. So you're basically asking, is there an easier way to see, if not disrupt the Toastmaster logo positioning, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Well, the only way to do that is to just look at it and do it manually, I guess. That's like one way to do that. Okay, let me just go back to my screen just so we can quickly demonstrate that. So I'm going to make a new page. Actually, I'm going to copy this right here. And so, for example, I don't have this in there. So I'm going to put the Toastmaster, so I click that. Toastmaster logo in there, make it small. And for example, you're putting it like this automatically. That is already a violation. So a way you can easily do that is just to look at it and see on the side over here, this is too close to the edge. So you just need to move it to the side. It's too close to the top, too close to the bottom. So the basic thing is just manually look at it, manually move it around. And you see this is already violating the Toastmaster brand. So put in a box, and from there, put it on the back. And yeah, so I hope I answered it. You just have to manually look at it, unfortunately. There's no easier, simpler way to do that. I really hope I answered that.
Yeah, I can understand. So the branding guidelines do mention, the distance from the margins and, the size of the logo. And I'm assuming that is to make sure that the logo is visible and it's not dominated by any of the other elements on any poster or any graphic, right? But if I have a way of mapping those measurements to Canva, just for example.
Oh, okay, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. So the Toastmaster brand. So let's actually go to this the visual brand guidelines over here. I think it has it. This was what you're talking about, right?
Right.
This is the one. So what I like to think of is this box over how high this is. This is the height it's supposed to go, basically. So it's laid out, if I can get this pointer, I can get a pen tool over here. So this is basically how high we're supposed to, that's the width we're allowed to use on TMI. So you see it's laid out over here. That's the same height it is. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope I'm explaining it that properly. So if you flip that, it should be the same. If you make that into a square, it should be the same height. So just take this, lay it out with this part over here on the box. So if you go back here to the, excuse me, if you go back here, oh, what is all this? Okay, so I'm back here on this artwork. So I'm going to take the Toastmaster here. I'm going to take the Toastmaster logo, and I'm going to look at this border. You know where the Toastmasters logo is, where it says Toastmasters International. I'm going to look at where the top bit ends and begins, and I'm going to map it out visually and see if it's like, is it too close over here? Yes, it is. So I'm going to move it. See how CANVA automatically helps you snap things there. So it's always best to put it that way. So you can just use that as a map visually. There isn't actually, unfortunately, there isn't a way to simply do that on CANVA, but it's all visually, and you have to do it all manually unless like you put it in an actual frame, and that's going to be a lot more difficult. So I hope that helps. So it's just this little box over here where it ends and begins. Use that as a guide to help you map out where to margin everything off. I hope that helps. Does that make sense?
Oh, I think you're absolutely brilliant. That's
Okay.
such a wonderful tip, and it's just like, because my mind was thinking of some numbers and everything, and it would have been different for every poster. But this is such a brilliant tip to just use that part of, the height of the Toastmasters international box, and just map that as the square. I think it's really great. Thank you so much. I don't think I would have figured it out quite so simply myself.
Thank you for the question. We have the last question because of the timing. Khalid, the area director Khalid Abdullah, also have another question. Khalid, your mic is unmuted. Please tell us the question.
Hello everyone, again. Well, I promise this is the last question from my end as well.
And it will be the last in the webinar.
The question is to deal with the corporate club. It's something that I took out of Toastmaster Brian as well. When he said what to do if we have something else. Like in my case, I'm a member of Barcode Toastmaster Club, and we do use it with the Toastmaster logo. So how can I best use that alongside with the guideline of the Barcode logo itself?
I think the best to answer that is our district public relation manager, Toastmasters Nasima.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello, AE. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now, Toastmasters Nasima.
The question is whether we can use the sponsor's logo, the club sponsor logo, along with Toastmasters logo or not. Is this the question?
That's the question. Plus, the sponsor logo as well has its own guidelines. If I'm going to use that, I need to push the sponsor logo itself.
You can place your sponsor's logo in two ways. On the agenda, above on the header, we can have Toastmasters International logo, and at the footer, we can have sponsors logo. Or we can keep the sponsors logo completely on the different page, on the second page, giving the complete credit to the sponsors. These are the two ways how we can use sponsors logo in our material. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's fine. But then if I, for example, have a design for invitation, branding guideline of the company logo itself. Now this would conflict with the TMI logo. So in that case, would it be fine maybe not to have the TMI logo? This is not to violate TMI guidelines as well?
Is it okay if I answer this question?
Yes, please. No problem.
What I know, if you have, since it's a corporate club, I think it's okay to put it not right beside the Toastmaster logo, but maybe on the other side or at the bottom as like a separate section of the poster if you're going to do it, because it is, you know, if you're from Babco Toastmasters, so it is more like a sponsor club, it's a corporate club.
Yeah.
So it should be completely fine, just as long as it's like, it's not close to each other and it doesn't go up beyond the margin, doesn't go too close beyond the margins of each logo, then it should be fine. You can still, as long as, since it's a Toastmaster club as well, make sure to, like, your text and your layout and the actual design of the poster you make abides by the Toastmaster guidelines, but since it's a corporate club, you can just put the logo on the bottom. That should be fine. I hope that answers it.
It's still a bit tricky, but yeah, I think will not take longer than this. You can take this offline.
Okay, so you can just give me a call and, like, I hope I can help you out with that.
Sure, will do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmasters Khalid. Thank you, our presenters. Toastmasters Nasima Khan, District 20 Public Relations Manager, and Toastmasters Nada Kamber. Thank you very much for this amazing webinar. Thank you for our District Director being there, always supporting us, and looking forward to see you in our next webinar soon. Be in touch, and we promise to give you the best. Thank you for all the attendees, and see you soon. Bye-bye.